All right, good morning, everybody. We should be live and up and running and having everything look good. So today should be a fun day. It is Wednesday. It's what, Christmas Eve. We have tomorrow's going to be half day in the market. We got Friday is going to be Christmas, and so everything should be pretty good. The market seems to be doing well, seems to be strong. So happy about that. Let's go definitely look around. I've got some sectors that are looking pretty good, pretty strong. And I'll show you one trade that we actually got 190% gain so far in just a few days. And yeah, cannabis, EVs, solars, these are kind of the name of the game as far as the hot sectors right now. I think, coming into the new year. I gave a presentation. We'll get to that a little bit later as well. I think I need to update this. I've got some new newsletters that I need to write about kind of this follow through. But for anybody who doesn't know me and looking for more information about me and what I do and how I trade, come over here to profitpilot.com. You can read up about the newsletters that I put out there, and then you go over to services, and then that's where you can find out about the subscription service, the alerts, and then the class and the indicator that I have. So let's kind of get into a little bit of a fun situation here this morning. I mean, this is really good. This was pretty incredible. It is cold. It's frosty. You guys can actually see down there on the docks. That's not snow. That's just frost. But that was the sunrise this morning up here in Gig Harbor, Washington. I'm staying the winter, COVID, quarantine, staying with the family, hanging out, and having a good time looking at something like this. I'm up definitely before the sun comes up, so I get to see this like literally out my window here, and it's a good time. I'll show you what it looks like right now. This is now, I just took this 2 minutes ago before I came on. If you guys look close, you can actually see some steam coming off of the water, and it's just gorgeous. It's really freaking cold, and I'm not used to that because I'm from Arizona, and then I live in Texas. But hey, at least it's pretty, right? Okay, so let's get into, well, let's just have some fun right off. UAVS. If I can do that right, UAVS. Now, what I want to show, and Sarah, if you want to post the link, I spoke about this a few weeks ago in a public webinar that anybody could subscribe to and look at. We posted on YouTube. I mean, it was a free webinar. And I said, here are some things that I'm looking at that I think are going to be basically the wave of the future, things that we need to be aware of and that are just starting to move. It's interesting. I got some people kind of poo-pooing this back when I was talking about that. Like, it's probably not as big as you think it is, and it's just a drone company and blah 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 blah. And sometimes you just gotta look through the haters and look at this thing. So we had to get in twice just because there was a little bit of a dip, but otherwise we got in right here at something like $2.70, and we took some off at 130%. We took a little bit more off at 190%. And it sure looks to me like there might be a little bit more meat on the bone with this thing, amazingly, as that might be the case. But, right now we've pocketed some really good change. 130%, 190%. Totally called this thing weeks ago and gave it out there for everybody to see. So everyone in the Moxie channel was having a great time with this one. We've had several other good ones. This kind of reminds me of the EV craze that we got, where we did 315% and 210% on IDEX and AYRO. Some of those things are starting to look like they're going to heat up again. So we'll get into that. UAVS, yeah, let's keep this on your radar. Can't say I'd really recommend getting into it right now. Be careful if you're going to be doing something like that. It does look like it wants to keep moving. I mean, this thing keeps pushing up, so we're going to be riding it for all that it's worth. Otherwise, whenever this thing pulls back, we'll jump in more. But this has been a fun one. All right, then let me just talk about the market for a bit. And good morning, everybody. Joe, Jay. Yeah, good to see you guys. And Georgia, yeah, good to see you. All right, so I've been actually a little bit concerned about this market because what you noticed here on, let's get back to the Profit Pilot, I was actually writing about the inverse trampoline move, right there, the inverse trampoline follow through. And it's usually a pretty stark indicator for me. It's when the Moxie indicator is below 0 and price is over the 50. That's a bad situation. That's you guys know I love my trampoline move, but the inverse trampoline move is scary because like, oh crap, something's gonna happen. And I totally nailed it. That exactly happened. You can see we got this big wash down like that. And so everything that I was telling the subscribers and guiding them about and saying, I'm still kind of freaked out about this, all came true. Once that happened, I had to actually go back and do some studying and figure out, well, is this really going to be bad? Are we really in some trouble? Like, what's the deal? And what I kind of came to the conclusion of was that for now, we could look at the daily 21 as probably some support, and then kind of to a bigger extent, the hourly 200. That is a force to be reckoned with. And then the other thing to note is right now we're just kind of going sideways. We're starting to recover. You look here at the 15-minute time frame. Price is holding the 15-minute 50. The Moxie indicator is at least up a bit. So for now, we're going to kind of just keep crawling up this wall of worry. The day of reckoning will probably come. We don't know when. That's always the tough part to say, okay, when's this going to happen? But for now, we got Christmas, we've got New Year's. This is usually a pretty bullish time of the season. Hedge funds, investors, they want to see good numbers. They don't want the market to roll over and die right now. Now's not the time. You can do it next year when there's more time to work at it. So I'm going to be generally bullish. I'm seeing some good names out there, and my indicators are kind of like talking to me. But for now, we're going to just keep following the moving averages and see what we can do. And hopefully that doesn't burn us. But so far, everything's looking good. And hell, IWM making some new highs. Like, geez, I keep looking at this thing. It's like, okay, someday this thing, the cows are going to come home, the chickens are going to go roost. Something's going to happen. But for now, we're just going to keep kicking the can down the road and until things change. All right, we'll see what we can do. Making 200% trades, kind of left and right. All right, so let's kind of see some people in my chat group talking about some stuff. Well, hell, let's see. What do they talk about? FUV. Yeah. Well, looks good. This is another one that we're in, FUV. So Mo, thanks for mentioning that one. Yeah, looks pretty good. Right here, bouncing off the hourly 50, and boy, that thing looks like it wants to get going. We even have a squeeze here and a squeeze here. So this is kind of in those electric car space, the EV space. So anybody out there who's interested, if you guys want to give us a boost, that would be fantastic. And then let's kind of work over back to cannabis. I do see some interesting things in cannabis that are happening. So let me show you CGC. Yeah, Teresa, good to see you. I hope you're doing well. I'm sure you guys have a lot of snow up there by now, huh? We're just starting to get it. All right, look at CGC. Doesn't this look super constructive? Other than this looks really just nice, very pretty. Look at this support back here, and look, that price is right back on it. I drew that line, and look what it's doing. It's sticking right there. And right now, look at that, even you got a double bottom, and look at this double bottom there with positive divergence, and look how good that Moxie indicator on the 15-minute time frame looks like. That looks fantastic. Teresa, you might have to convert that to me. It's 30 centimeters. What is that? Inch and a half? 2 inches? But yeah, CGC, look at the thing. Looking good. I think that the pullback is starting to finish. Looks like cannabis is ready to start moving up. We can see Cron is doing the same thing. So there you go. There's that level. You can see previous price area. It's trying to find some support. It's not quite as developed, but you can see that price down, Moxie indicator up. We're starting to get some divergence. Oh, holy crap, Teresa, I was off. 11.8 inches. Yeah, you're up in there, Alberta, right? Somewhere up in North Canada. Totally wrong. I don't know what 30 centimeters looks like. All right, maybe I'm thinking millimeters. And then if you look at VFF, look at this thing. Look at that thing starting to take off. And, it didn't even, basically bounce off the daily 21. Didn't quite get to the hourly 200. You can see there's your double bottom-ish, positive divergence. Look at that Moxie indicator. Actually, let me zoom in so you guys can see this. This is what I love about the Moxie indicator. If you're looking closely, it's there. Look how tight that Moxie indicator is. compared to this. You see how that's spread? You don't want it spread. Spread kind of means they're kind of weak. They don't really agree with each other. You want those things lined up right on top of each other. The more they look like one line, the stronger they are. I always get people asking me, why do I have two lines on the 15-minute Moxie indicator? That's why. Because it tells you so much more information than just one. And then you could see yesterday, and again, surprised that this thing's moving like this, but the setup was there. Look at yesterday, price staying right there, just right above the 15-minute 50 and the 15-minute 200. Doesn't get much better than that on the 15. And look at this, nice and tight on the hourly, right and through here. In fact, yeah, a little bit of a double bottom right there, positive divergence, and then right there over that. So now that one's, we got the news out of the gate. We're just going to have to figure out where to get back in on something like that. But how about this? Okay, YCBD. YCBD. See if I type that right. Look at that sucker. And we're in this one too. Now, typical earnings shenanigans. Earnings was last night. Look what it did. It rammed it down and then shot right up. But if you look at this, what it do? Right into the daily 50. So those are some of the challenges with earnings that you have to deal with. But everything looked good on this thing before it actually had earnings. It just did this. And actually, look at this. Here is a 15-minute trampoline move. Price below the 50, the Moxie indicator above 0. It's a trampoline move. Now, granted, earnings, okay, I don't like to trade earnings and all that kind of stuff, so, I am careful with it. But, yeah, we got in right as we noticed that thing popping up. Cannabis, basically cannabis. If you guys want to look into that, I would really say cannabis is it's an exciting place to be right now. Go find some names. One of the bigger ones, we'll talk about Tilray. They had that news, last week or something, about them merging with APHA and vice versa. And they had a big spike, cool. But that spike was sold into. It was just kind of abnormal. It was outside of any of the moving averages. It didn't have any support, and it just started to fall right back down. Then look what happened. Pulled back, came back into the daily 21. Yeah, a little bit below the hourly 50. Kind of found some support. You could see it was doing that. And now it's starting to pop up. The Moxie indicator's looking decent. And the hourly Moxie indicator's about to go green. And then we have a squeeze and a little bit of a squeeze. So take a look at the cannabis sector. Find out what you want. And see what you can snag out there. We talked about some of the EVs. How's Tesla doing? Yeah, is Tesla pretty much unstoppable? Yeah, probably. The only thing it did right in here, it got a little choppy, and it was too overbought. It's trying to flag and find some support. Now, the Moxie indicator's been trending down. It's telling you, hey, this thing's kind of running out of some momentum, some of energy right now. But if we look at the higher time frame, the daily looks great. Really, price is just trying to find some support here, probably the daily 21. Look at this. You can see, let me draw that better. You can see right in through here, kind of holding that level, and let's kind of see if it does this and starts to move up again. I wouldn't be bearish on Tesla at all. I think you guys have known that, and so just don't ever try and short Tesla. And I think the EV space is going to be going, on fire. No pun intended. Yeah. And then solars. We've been SPWR. I've been a little late to the party on this. I've been talking about it for a long time. Again, that webinar that I had a few weeks ago where I talked about the EVs and cannabis and solars. Like, this isn't anything new. We just posted the link in the chat box. It was a free webinar. Totally called all this stuff and spoke about it. No ball to be hidden. The only thing I've been doing is trying to actually play some other names. And so I've kind of missed the solar sector a little bit, but I've been talking about it a lot and telling people, yeah, this looks good. If you want to be in, be in. SPWR is looking great. And how about this one, VVPR? This is one we've been talking about for a while. And you know what? I'm kicking myself. I almost went in on it yesterday, and I just thought, yeah, we'll just kind of wait. We'll see if this thing kind of does a little pullback, something like that. Nope. It just wanted to take off. And look at the freaking volume on this thing. Look at this. Look at that volume spike compared to anything else that's been doing. Like, nothing. So this stuff is just coming out of the blue. And, that's fine. You don't need to be too upset that you're missing something like this. There's always a second opportunity. There's always a way to get back into something like this. Now that the cat's out of the bag, I know what to do with this. Now we just wait for an opportunity to get in. Wait till it bumps into some moving average, and then we can get in. So this is fantastic that stuff like this is starting to happen. But this was all a trampoline move on the 15-minute time frame. Look at that. fantastic. And then yesterday, right there, dang, should have gotten in. I didn't expect it to move like this. So we're jumping on some other names in the solar sector that I think will start to move like this and start to really kind of catch some fire. But yeah, fun stuff on that. I'd be careful about trying to get it right now. I always like to try and nab some pullbacks. One other name, SOL. Let's see, come on. Let's get my computer to work with me here. This is what I'm talking about, always finding a second opportunity. So, big moves up like this, they always kind of pull back a little bit. You can see a little bit move there. On the daily chart, you can actually see right there, it flagged right into the 8. There are opportunities to get into these things, so never be too concerned that you're missing out on it. So that's the thing. If there's a theme, it's kind of like future. What is the future going to hold? Where are future things going? Where is the government looking? Where is industry looking? What are we looking towards? And it has to basically do with drones, cannabis, electric vehicles, solar, power generation, alternative fuels, things like that. Follow the money. All right, let me kind of go back here and we'll go see what you guys are looking at. Yeah, Joe, ACB, same thing. It's been trending sideways for a little bit. I think cannabis in general, it should be working out. So yeah, keep an eye on ACB as well. It just needs to stop going down, but it looks like it's trying. QCOM. Georgia, let's see what you're looking at here. All right, so I had a big drop. The only thing I could say here from that drop was that it seemed a little extended. Price was kind of up there. We're getting pretty far away from the daily 50. And so far, it looks to me like, you see this big gap from earnings? If you look, price is still holding that gap. That's actually pretty good. I'd say that's constructive. And then look, you got a double bottom right there. Here's your double bottom. And actually, you got divergence upon divergence right there. That was fantastic. So guys, again, if you don't have the Moxie indicator, or if you're looking at how to trade better or something like that, I'm telling you, I can't mix this stuff up. There's your double bottom, there's your positive divergence, and now you got price up over there. And one more time, if you guys don't know, if I don't say it enough, profitpilot.com, go over to services, and that's where you can get the indicator, you can get the scanner, you can get the class, all this kind of stuff. I don't hide anything. You can come up here and find it too, and we have a good time with it. All right, Ojas, good to see you. Let's see, Kala, it's like a koala bear. And let me just double check the volume because sometimes these things look a little weird. Yeah, it looks okay. Big volume, I like that. Look at the volume that's actually been increasing. Do you see this right there? That's pretty good. I like that idea. And now that it's done this, that actually is a trampoline move. So again, with the class, the things I teach, trampoline move, that's when price is below the 50, but the Moxie indicator is above 0. Now this thing's popped up. Looks like it's doing it on volume. Big ol' squeeze. It's been squeezing for a while. Yeah, if you want to do something like this, it looks like a reasonable candidate. Let's take a look at the higher time frames just to double check. You might need, it might do some moving around on you because you still have the weekly 8 below the 21. So just keep in mind this thing might be a trade or two before it really takes off, but do keep that in mind that you have a little bit of work to do on the weekly time frame. And then bar. Again, you guys always, not that this is, okay, yeah, that's what I thought. So 150,000 shares traded today. Probably not much happening here. 200,000. Yeah, this is a little on the low volume side. So just make sure you want to find stuff that is roughly over 500,000 shares per day. That's what I like to do. So I'm trying to think, is this okay? Gold. I thought I was looking at this. It does look like gold. This is exactly the GLD pattern right there that we're seeing. So now that we're on that, how about I go talk about gold here? You see how it's exactly the same thing? Look at that. So gold, silver, they're moving very, very similarly to each other, and I do really like the precious metals. The dollar keeps getting devalued. The cryptocurrencies are off the wall. It seems to me that gold, silver, precious metals are starting to really heat up on the higher time frame, and we've seen a pretty good trade here. You can see here's your leg, here's your heel, here's the arch of your foot, ball of your foot, there's the elf toe. And we had a trampoline move here, which got us in on that first move. And now look what we have here. We'll zoom in a little bit. Right here, I'd look at this as kind of a combo. It's either going to be, consider that this is bouncing off of the hourly 50, or that could be just a slight trampoline move as price is below the 50, but the Moxie indicator is above 0. This looks like a great place to either start or add a position on gold. Silver is basically doing the same thing. So yeah, that stuff looks good. All right, let me kind of scroll down a little bit. Goku, thanks, Black. I'll take that. Ryan Reynolds is pretty awesome. I'll take that. Rebecca, good morning. Good to see you. Let's see, GMDA. Let's see what you're showing me so we can go slice and dice. Okay, what is cell phone? Is that what this is? Seems okay. So I see the squeeze, what you're talking about, and yeah, a lot of times we see this thing. They shoot up a little too much, they pull back, they find some support, and then if they can continue to ride the 8 EMA, those are some of the more exciting ones, the ones that have a lot of energy, is if they can follow the 8 EMA. They don't all do that, but I do like what's happening here. Perhaps price is going to continue following and bouncing off of the hourly 50. You got a squeeze. Moxie indicator on the 15-minute looks good. You get price up here over the 15-minute 200 and starting to move up. So yeah, some of these things look pretty good. Let's see, JMIA. I chased myself out of this one a little bit ago. We got a gain, but not nearly as much as we could have. But you can see here, it's generally following the 8 EMA. You can see that, and what it did, it followed the hourly 50 like that too. So that GMDA could be doing that, and then PLTR kind of see kind of the same thing. That's why I'm saying they may not all be as smooth as we want them to. Sometimes you got to come in, get in and get out of a trade a couple times. It just depends. This one didn't quite want to follow the 8 EMA, so what it did is it came back to about the 21 EMA. Here's your double bottom. There's your double. No, there's the. Can I do that? There you go. And your positive divergence. And now we're trying to get moving up. This one still may need a little bit of time. It still is trying to break out. It still might need one more touch of, say, the hourly 50. Either that or it's just going to shoot out. But it's looking okay. Might just need a little bit of time. All right, then Evan, we'll take a look at TDoc. And may I encourage you to look at the higher time frames on some of these. I've been talking about this also. This was a staple. Actually, it's what I led with in that webinar I spoke about a few weeks ago to everybody. I said, I think we are closer to a new bull market than not. I think we are looking at some really good, strong signals out there. And if you look at Teledoc, what do we have? If you look at the monthly chart, price is just bouncing off the monthly 10. And on the weekly chart, it's bouncing off of the weekly 50 with a big old squeeze. I think this stuff looks like it's closer to getting going than falling apart. So big picture, I'm bullish on this stuff. Mo, good to see you. And as far as Teledoc down here, it looks like it's basically trying to bounce off of the daily 200. Oh, look here, trampoline move right there. Price below the 50, Moxie indicator above 0. And then look at this right there. Follow the 15-minute 50 with the Moxie indicator above 0. So great stuff here. Imram, welcome. Good morning. And let's see you guys are looking at Tal. Kind of looks the same as Teledoc, roughly. Yeah, look at that. Bouncing. So TAL bouncing off of the monthly 10. Looks like it's coming close to the weekly 50. And it too looks like it wants to essentially stay over the daily 200. And we could be getting into a trampoline move right there. Price below the 50, the Moxie indicator above 0. I'd like to see this thing actually trigger. I'd like to see it actually turn around and do something. Right now it's not quite doing that. It's not over the 15-minute 50 yet. The Moxie indicator on the 15-minute time frame is still turning down a little bit. So I think you've got the right idea. Give it maybe just a little bit more time, or maybe if you like to buy the dip, you can start loading up on this. Maybe this is a elf shoe. Here's your leg, here's your heel, here's the arch of your foot. Maybe that's the ball of your foot. Maybe we're going to get that next. So this is actually something I think I want to kind of just take a look at. TAL. I will watch that one, and we'll see where it goes. And then actually, how about we do this, just so I put a placeholder. We'll just put a line here. We'll see if that trampoline move works out. So, Christian, yeah, thanks for mentioning that one. We'll see what it does. And let's see. MU, I've never really been a fan of trading this one. It has moved quite well. I think it just needs a rest. Like, look how high this thing is. You do have earnings coming up, It seems to me this is probably just going to flag and go sideways for some time. I'm going to reserve judgment saying that this thing's probably going to roll over, but it could. There's still a gap between price and the hourly 50, but maybe the daily 21 is going to find some support. Moxie indicator is bleeding off, but that's because it's flagging sideways. So I don't see an entry yet. Hopefully it flags, and we'll see kind of where it goes from there, but it's super high. And then NVIDIA, we're really just kind of waiting for this thing to get going. I don't have anything to say on the lower time frames. This is one of the more extended stocks, and you can see here like there's still a large gap between price and the monthly 10. So I think something like this may need a little bit more time, but I don't see anything wrong with them. The fact that all these big names are just going sideways, I don't know what they're waiting for, but I think that they look fine on a big scale. Yeah. All right. Let's see. GNPX. See what's going on with this one. Oh, let's see. Do we need to check volume? Okay, it's got enough volume, so like 1.5 million shares. Great move. It's hard for me to say play it right here, but what I can tell you is look at this. That was a trampoline move. Price below the 50, the Moxie indicator above 0, and look, actually, let me zoom on this. Look at this 15-minute time frame. This was gorgeous. So I hope you were playing this. And guys, if you were ever wondering, like, this is how I teach. You want to know how I find these trades and how I talk about this stuff? Sign up for the class. Come join the Moxie subscription. I do a lot of teaching in the room. But look at this. Price holding the 15-minute 50. The Moxie indicator looking super sweet. Kind of a dip right there, but what'd that dip do? Right back down to the hourly 50. And again, that was a trampoline move on the hourly chart. So, yeah, that was a pretty good trade. And then let's see, yeah, we got QCOM, NVIDIA, and then, so Mo, let's see, EH. Yeah, we've been talking about this one. So good job on that one. Yeah, you're right. This one does look like it wants to keep going. So notice we had that trampoline move right there on the hourly 50. Then you can see price bounced off the hourly 50. You know, Mox indicator got nice and tight right there compared to where it was very spread right there. Up, and look at this. It sure seems to me like it's probably going to keep bouncing off of the 15-minute 50. So, yeah, Mo, if this thing can just hold right there and move, I think it's going to be okay. So that looks pretty good. In fact, yeah, it looks like UAVS when I was doing it. Clearly, big volume on this thing, doing pretty well. So I know you've been chatting about that one for quite some time. I know you're in it. You're doing a good job with it. So fantastic. Okay. Rebecca, KSU, isn't that a college? Let's see. Yeah, KSU looks fine. I don't know how exciting it's going to be, though, but it does look fine. I don't see anything wrong with it. It's bouncing off the hourly 50. The daily is doing fine. Yeah, everything looks fine on this. I just don't know how exciting it'll be. And then CCJ, yeah, Sean, isn't this is metals or is this uranium? I always forget what this one is, but huge volume on the daily. So you know, you look at stuff like that, huge volume. It's pretty much going to be supported. And if you look here, that was a trampoline move right there. And I know you're in the Moxie area, so yeah, you got it. And then look at this. Here's your level. Notice the Moxie indicator kind of trending up like that. Yeah, everything looks pretty good on that one. So good job on CCJ. And yeah, okay, let's see. Mo, let's look at shop. It's a little up there. You know, we talked about the entry a while ago. You know, the entry on this thing was just gorgeous. Look at this. Bounce off the daily 50, another trampoline move, you know, Moxie indicator up like that, and then price off the 15-minute 50. A little bit of a pullback there, and then this thing keeps going. Maybe not the most ideal place to start or add, but overall I think it looks fine. Be prepared for any kind of either pullbacks or sideways movement, but overall Shopify looks fantastic. So any kind of dips, flags, whatever, those should be buyable. I don't see anything wrong with this. The only thing is that it's a little extended, you know, it's a little far off this stuff, but overall ride the trend and then buy dips. So yeah, that'll be looking good. Then I'll leave off with one last one. Joe, I know we had some people asking, Nail, is it in trouble? I don't think this thing is in trouble. Let's look at the monthly and the weekly. It's kind of hard to see on the weekly, but what you see here is, it seems to me like we've got nail just kind of flagging, holding right there. Seems okay to me. I'm not too worried about it. We've got the weekly 30 coming up here, and price is really just going sideways, kind of waiting for something. It's got a weekly squeeze. The weekly Moxie indicator fired, and if we look at the monthly 10 is starting to turn a little bit. And then let's go back to the daily and the hourly. I'm looking at this thing. There was a bit of a gap between price and the hourly 50. I kind of thought maybe that had fixed it right there, that dip, this dip right here. And right now, it's still just going sideways. Look at how much room the Moxie indicator has here. And if price either bounces off the hourly 50, or even if it goes just below it, that should be a trampoline move. I would basically say kind of anywhere in here, as long as it starts to then find support, we're looking at something good. So I'm not worried about this one. That one, you just kind of hang out and wait for that. All right, guys. Yeah, Jay, I know there are a lot of good stocks out there. I think we're going to get some more upside. We've got the Santa Claus rally, all that kind of stuff, and I think we're looking all right. So I'll just leave you one more time, profitpilot.com. Come over here to services. You guys can check out the alert service, do a lot of education there, the class, the indicator, all that stuff you can do down here. And then maybe just this. Can we just enjoy this? This was a beautiful morning. We're having a good time. Christmas Eve. And we got New Year's right around the corner. What's there not to be too? Well, I'm going to take that back. We are in the middle of coronavirus. So how about this? There are bright spots in the world right now, and we just need to appreciate what we can and have a good time out there and enjoy the holidays. So I hope everyone can do well. I won't be seeing a lot of my family because the coronavirus can't really move around too much, but we got Zoom, right? We got good technology. We have ways to see each other, and we just make the best of a crappy situation. So everyone take care. I'll talk to you, next week. And then we'll see you right before the New Year's. So thanks again, everyone. Take care. We'll chat with you later.